Hello and welcome to Todd Rolls Dice, where we have another Sunday preview. And this one is definitely not what I was expecting. In fact, I'd completely forgotten about these guys. But before we get into the fun stuff and see what's actually coming, and you have a little sneak peek on the screen right now, let's do the admin bit first. This is the Sunday preview for the 12th of October, which means everything shown in this article will be going up for pre-order on Saturday the 18th of October, and they will be releasing on Saturday the 1st of November, unless otherwise stated. It's actually quite a big preview, in all honesty. For such small miniatures, it's quite a big preview. We have a lot of AOS, but we also have a lot of Black Library, so that's always fun. But first up, Battle Tome Helsmiths of Hashut. It's going to be another week or a couple of weeks of Helsmiths of Hashut lore and rules, everybody. We're going up for pre-order is Battle Tome Helsmiths of Hashut, your 90-page guide. It's not even the 128-page that we've come to love for our codexes and battle tomes. 90 pages of, I suppose it makes sense for it to be a smaller book. You get it in your standard Battle Tome A4 size and then the A5 Gamer Edition, which is the softback book, and your cards bundled in with it as well. Somewhere on the channel, if you search for Gamer Edition, it might come up. I did a little video running through the differences of a standard size battle tome and then a Gamer Edition with the Slaves to Darkness battle tome, and that dropped almost a year ago now. So if you're interested in the differences, basically this one's handy to carry around. It comes with a couple of extra cards. It's your pick up and go tournament package, whereas this is your big proper traditional battle tome. Both of them content wise are exactly the same in the books. The only difference is this one is half the size. I'd forgotten completely about the Helsmiths of Hashut and their other bits, and there's a lot of other bits to come. First up, Urak-Tar, the first demon smith, riding his mechanical Taurus. I mean, it's still a great model. I absolutely adore this model. It fits every element of Harryhausen that I want from Age of Sigmar. Incredible. Perfect. And I think as a character model, I think he's pretty cool. He looks good. I don't know anything about his lore, but he just seems to have this presence. Not entirely sure about the petrified trees. I wonder if you can change his base a little bit to make him a bit more like maybe in a cave or by a forge, or just mix it up a little bit. But as a model, stunning. I am terrified to know how much he is though. He also has the optional assembly of a normal demon smith on an infernal Tauros, and you can tell that they're different because one's painted differently. Jade instead of bronze. This is your HQ on the same creature, basically. No, I'm wrong, they're different heads. That one has smoke coming out of its infernal gem thing on its forehead. But that's about it, apart from the model. But a couple of different options there. It makes two profiles. It's a nice model. That's probably my favourite model of this new range. The Demon Smith is coming out on his own. No, it was the Despot that was in the box, wasn't it? So the Demon Smith is coming, and he has an optional assembly for the Ashen Priest. The War Despot is coming out on his own. He was in the army box a few weeks ago probably. Bull Centaurs, they're coming out on their own, and they have the optional assembly of the Anointed Sentinels. These models, both of them, sounded just gross to fight. In fact, this whole army sounded really strong from the previews, so it's good that this stuff is coming out and we can actually see how strong this is when people have all the units to play with. Infernal Cohort coming out on their own with their poor little hobgrot with a gong, and then your optional assembly is with different weapons. You've got the swords or you've got the spears. Dominator Engine. This was also in the army box, coming out on his own with your optional assembly for the ranged variant. It's, again, just a really cool Harryhausen style model. I have a soft spot for these, and to be honest, I could ally some of this stuff in with my Dark Oath, but we've already done quite extensive previews on these guys, so I'll be interested to see what drops this week. But yeah, I mean, everything is coming. The Death Shrieker rocket battery with the optional assembly of the giant mortar that just shoots from anywhere on the board with a, was it a 36-inch range or something stupid? This is another gross unit. Both variants are just gross. The Infernal Razors, this was the flamethrowers, wasn't it? Yeah, again, just sounded like another gross unit. So you have the Razors, and then surely there's a Flame Hurlers as well. Just gross. The Hobgrot Vandals. This is basically your chaff screening troop. There are 20 in a box, I want to say 20 grots, including the champion, armed with a cruel chain weapon, that guy there. And you also get a Helsmiths of Hashut transfer sheet with 450 transfers. That sounds like a lot. Again, just a really cool little looking side unit that isn't dwarfs. Very much plays into their aesthetic. Helsmiths of Hashut dice. You guys will have to tell me what you think of these, because I'm not sure. My initial response was, oh, they're nice. And then when I looked at them again, I went, oh. So, anybody looking for Helsmiths of Hashut dice, what do you think? Let me know in the comments below. And then that's it. That is all of our models. So we're moving over to Black Library, and it's the Space Wolf book, Kraken Blood. This one is by, does it tell us, Mark Collins? Oh, it's coming out on Audible as well. All right, cool. So it's getting its special edition, which they tend to do with the big books. This one follows Ivor Krakenblood, who is a new character in the Space Wolves, I believe. He's on a quest from Ulrich the Slayer, and yeah, apparently he's just going to go and mess things up. Really interested by this book, actually. Some new Space Wolf lore. Post Space Wolf release, this is the first book that we've had for the Space Wolves. I'm interested to know how many of the current characters that we all know are named or mentioned in here, potentially. But yeah, I like this. I would be tempted by the special edition, but honestly, and for the price, for what they are, I don't think that they're bad. But then part of me is like, well, I've got an Audible credit in the bank, so I may as well just get it on Audible. Because it is also coming out in hardback, ebook, and audiobook formats. So Kraken Blood Special Edition is only available while stocks last. It comes with a black cloth cover, screen printed art and gold foil details, plus black page edges and a ribbon bookmark, whereas the hardback will probably sell out instantly, but is going to be something that comes back into stock, I would guess. I like it. I would have preferred some other images. My problem is, I don't know who Ivor Krakenblood is, and I don't know if I'm going to be a fan of his. I like the black and the orange. I'm a bit of a sucker for black and orange. Talk me out of it in the comments. Although I wonder how much these are now. They used to be 50 quid, but I expect that they've gone up as well. Stop looking at it. Abraxia, Spear of the Everchosen is coming in hardback, ebook and audiobook, as well. This one is by Chris Thurston, who wrote the incredible Dark Oath Gunnerbrand novel. I might be tempted by this as well, to be honest. Abraxia is an interesting character. I don't think they've really let her shine, but I do feel like Chris Thurston has the ability to help us connect with a character as potentially grandiose as Abraxia, who is one of the lieutenants of Archaon. So definitely interested in that one. The Dark Coil Ascension is coming in paperback and ebook. This is by Peter Fervari, and it is an anthology that collects the Reverie and Requiem Infernal and 8 short stories, all trapped in the sprawling web of the Dark Coil. Anvils of the Heldenhammer, The Ancients, is an Age of Sigmar book by Dale Lucas. This is coming out in paperback, I want to say. Yeah, paperback next week. So what is this one about? 20 years after Anvilgard fell to the daughters of Cain and became Har-Kuron, Knight Incantor Tivrain Greymantle has a dangerous mission to liberate those still incarcerated by Morathi Cain. Her actions are in defiance of Sigmar. In her way is a horde of Khorne bloodbound, because of course there is. And what awaits her is a secret more dangerous than she can imagine. It sounds like something I'd enjoy though, because, you know, Khorne bloodbound. Anything with Khorne's fun. And I genuinely think one of the big story points, the big narrative plot points that's going to surface in Age of Sigmar is going to be the Daughters of Cain and all the stuff that's going on with them. Potentially not agreeing with Sigmar, but also all the infighting in the civil war that's brewing there. I think that that could be really interesting, and if they have allowed Dale Lucas to play into that, I think that could be pretty good. But that's not one I'll rush out and pick up. Whereas anything Space Wolves I will rush out and pick up. Anything Chris Thurston I'll rush out and pick up. I'm not going to rush out and pick that one up. We'll see where it lands. On the Shoulders of Giants and Other Stories is another Age of Sigmar anthology. This one contains On the Shoulders of Giants by Adrian Tchaikovsky and 11 other short stories by authors Hal Wilson, Leanne Marcel, Noah Van Negan, Anna Stevens and more. Wow, we can't even name them all. Great work. That's coming out in paperback. I believe that this has had a hardback release at some point 6, maybe 8 months ago, potentially closer to the start of this new edition of Sigmar, so maybe even 12 months ago. The Rose in Darkness by Diane Ware is coming in French translation in paperback and ebook. That's Sisters of Battle 40k. And Minkalesque, The Last White Shield by Justin D. Hill has had a German translation and is coming in paperback and ebook. I believe this is this the anthology of all of the books but the last one for Minkalesque? I feel like I've seen this cover before. And then that's us for Black Library, but quite a lot of Black Library there, which is nice to see. And I know that a lot of this stuff has been teased previously, but it's good that this stuff's coming out now. Over on to Warhammer TV Plus. We have How We Roll with Nick catching up with Kenny from the Warhammer studio, talking about the process behind designing the new chapter approved 25-26 mission deck. You know, that might have been really nice to drop around the time the mission deck released back in summer. Just a thought. But again, I think that'll be quite interesting. I'm always interested to know how they come up with the rules in this sort of stuff. Deep Strike is sitting down with Creative Assembly to discuss Total War Warhammer 3. I feel like we've done that before. I feel like we've spoken to them a lot about Total War Warhammer 3. And then Ultimate Paint Off returns with Emma, Amber, John and Rick as they continue into the second of 3 episodes. This one is looking at freehanding an orc banner. That actually sounds pretty good. And it's orcs, right? October. They've finally done the math and it's connected. That's probably not why they're doing an orc banner, but still. Next week on WarCom, they're locking in for a festive reveal. That's right, the Red Gobbo's back. And they're also taking a closer look again at the Helsmiths of Hashut. This is probably the other units. If it's rules based, we will absolutely cover it because I'm interested to see just how strong they're going to be as an army. And also, alongside your regularly scheduled articles, well, bearing in mind the articles aren't regularly scheduled, I don't know what that means. We should also mention, before I do my pick of the preview, we're still waiting on the 3 combat patrol rules. We have the White Scars, the Iron Hands, although I don't think we need their rules, just take it that they're trash, and the Harlequin's new combat patrol. And we also haven't had, or that I've seen, we haven't had anything to do with the rules for the 2 new characters. The Count on a Bike and Cass, the new Iron Hands captain. So hopefully next week we'll get their rules, although who knows what's going on. WarCom's all over the place at the minute, I think. Pick of the preview. So, I mean, it's very rare that I do books. That for me is an absolute pick-up next week. Or whenever it goes live, whenever you can actually physically get it. I will be picking up Kraken Blood on Audible. Potentially, I may try and get this. It depends how I feel on Saturday and if I want to wake up for pre-orders, I guess. Just talk me out of it in the comments, please. Pick of the preview, because we usually go with models and things. It can only be one thing for me. It absolutely has to be Uruktar and his insane bronze Taurus miniature. I think that thing is amazing. I would love to see it in the flesh. Absolutely pick of the preview for me. Let me know what your pick of the preview is down below. If you've enjoyed this, we do these every week. There's something to talk about in the preview. If there isn't a preview, I'm not going to force a video on you. But whenever there's a preview, we go through it and I give you my thoughts, and I'd love to hear yours in the comments below. So if you enjoy this kind of thing, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, do all the YouTubey things. The support is continuously amazing, folks. Thank you so much for being here and watching these videos. It really does mean a lot. And as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.